All right, we are back, and the conversation is getting juicy as always. I can't wait to get more into these questions. So we're gonna get right down to it. So Brandon, go ahead and pull a question for me. Read it for the people.
It is, do you feel though you fit in the understanding or the idea of who or what it means to be a black man? That's, to me personally, extremely controversial, just because of what most people look in society. I feel like if you're over the age of 25, that idea can be extremely different. If you're 25 to 21, that idea can be extremely different. If you're 21 and under, that idea can be extremely different. Me personally, I say I kind of don't, just because like when you see a black man, you think, XYZ. I just kind of think myself as like I'm growing to become a successful black man, and just because with certain situations I'm not there yet. Personally, I feel like I don't want to say I can't label myself a black man, because obviously I am a black man. I just want to be like a successful black man, or like a wealthy black man, and since I'm not there yet, I don't want to like label myself as that just yet.
Okay. Why do you think that? Like, because it's a good principle of like manifestation and walking in expectancy. Do you feel like you don't want to call yourself that yet because of the eyes or the thoughts of other people? Or do you feel like you're just getting ahead of yourself? And if you feel like you're getting ahead of yourself, why?
I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself because there is this saying I looked at a couple weeks ago. It was on like a video or something. It's like everything, basically an idea is just a thought. The second you start doing stuff about it, that's when it becomes a goal. Mm-hmm. So now I just feel like I have this extreme infinite list of thoughts, ideas, whatever you can say, but I haven't made them goals yet. Just because I tend to, be doing good or something, then fall off a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then next, I just start something new, fall off that. So it's like I have all these talents, in my opinion, but I haven't did nothing with them. So I feel like that's really the cause. And of course, other people are always going to judge everybody, no matter what color you are, no matter who you are, mm-hmm. and things like that. So really it's just, I'm doing it for myself. So let's say when I get my own house, when I move out, whatever like that, I can say, I did this, I'm a successful black man now.
So really it's kind of like a self-critique part of you. Okay. I think that's a good point to make, because I know a lot of guys are, at least for my understanding, you guys are defined by what you produce, so it's all about what's in front of you first, not necessarily your potential. A lot of people get on the topic of potential, but I think for the black male community, we can't look into potential, like, because y'all got a lot of people that don't even take y'all seriously in general. So you have to do even more to prove yourself than just what you might be in this very moment. Yeah. Like even me, like I know I haven't reached my potential, but I don't think I get as much scrutiny or judgment as y'all, simply because you guys are black men and y'all are already in this category of providing. So in order to provide, you have to prove. Oh, did I just break down that word? But yeah, so I guess that's big in being self-critical, because I'm very self-critical, but I can only imagine how much the pressure is on y'all. Because even me, like, if I have a significant other, I would like to see what they have, not for me, but like just a character of what they're doing for themselves. And I think that's pressure on everyone in general, but as a black man, as someone that is trying to come into something to produce fruit within their family or within their livelihoods and their careers, like, y'all have to go above and beyond, because we can't just take y'all's face value.
Yeah, and it's a lot of pressure. Like, you can ask everybody in here, like, if a black man doesn't have a car, somebody's going to say something.
Yeah.
Like, house, not too hard on it, but if a woman has it easily, it's going to be like looked at 10 times bad if a man doesn't have it yet. Mm-hmm. Like, woman gets a house, congratulations, this and that. Man gets a house, you should have been had that. Like, you're 28, what's the issue? Like, you see a lot of people, I moved out when I was 17, I moved out when I was 18. It's like, kind of like that's the standard set on black men. Like, if you don't move out by 25, you're almost looked frowned upon.
What's your take, David?
I mean, I also think it's kind of walking with a chip on your shoulder, understanding that, like you said, black men in society, the way the question spoke to me is that when we walk outside, the way you look at things and your viewpoint's always going to be different from other people. And understanding that even though we are 1 in a billion or however much people in this world, you got to understand that when you walk out, the way you're looked at is not the same as somebody with different skin tone. And understanding that you have to hold yourself to a higher standard, no matter what the situation may be. And understand that when you walk in your career, job, aspirations, just different things like that, look at it from a broader point of view of the way I see things is not the way others may perceive it. And understanding that your goal and how to get there is always going to be different. And seeing that, you know, everything is different, but when you're that certain, you know, like when you're black and you have to go about it a different way. So I think just understanding that life, like I said, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But the way you go about making that lemonade is still your authentic self, and how you go about that is what I'm trying to come at.
Yeah, I get that. You have any last take on that question?
I would just agree with both statements. Just to piggyback off of it, it's more so just how you carry yourself on a day-to-day basis, and giving off that energy is always going to be given back, especially when, you know, you're moving around. From my perspective, a lot of times when I'm doing things, in the back of my head, it's not to say that, oh, I'm a black man doing this. It's more so just saying that I'm doing this because I've always wanted to do this in my life. And then when somebody brings it to my attention, like, hey, you're a black man and you have some success in this, it's like, okay, yes, I can also put that notch under my belt and I run with it. But it's not to say that I just forget about it completely. It's just not something that I totally think about as a whole. Like, yeah, I'm a black man. The first thing I think about is I'm a human being. And then I go into thinking I'm a man. And then you go into thinking that I'm a black man.
Yeah.
And so you have that understanding that even though you might feel like a human being, you understand that not everybody else is going to understand what you understand. So it's like, I know that you see me as this thing, but if I carry myself in a certain way, or if we just even have the slightest of a conversation, you're going to see that it's different. And I can tell that you see that as different. So it's more so just how you carry yourself, and honestly thinking like, well, just because I'm a black man doesn't mean I have to abide by this stigma. I don't have to live this certain way. I don't have to act this way towards people who look like me. It shouldn't have to be like that. So if you don't want it to be like that, then you have to be the first one to move that way, or at least be the first follower.
That's a good point. That's a real good point. We could definitely dive into that again, because I do want to touch into that. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
That was perfect. I was trying to get my words together, but you hit the nail on the head for real.
That was good.